So I don't know about you guys, but my head's spinning from this morning and yesterday, all this new stuff. I can't keep track. I'm an accountant, I'm not a developer, but I do own a business that's a Microsoft partner organization. So when we talked about me talking here, I kind of thought about what would I want to get out of this if I was sitting in the chair on the other side of the podium. I think when you go to these conferences, they're disruptive to your life. And not every minute is high value. So if I can present something that maybe moves the needle a little for you and you walk away, I will have done my job. So that's what I'm going to try and do today. I don't know what's in the agenda for a title for this thing, but I want to talk about money and paychecks and the market for labor in this space and where things are going, because I actually have no idea. But what I'll do is I'll share with you how I think about things and what we're doing. And you can take that and maybe apply it through the lens that you see the world, okay? So I kind of changed the title to like value propositions around verticalization, because all these new platform tools and everything, it's really blowing up the whole IT industry from my perspective. And what I'm gonna share with you is that I kind of think the world's really changing for how these businesses operate. My big idea here is that the value proposition around the increase in valuation to these businesses and to Microsoft and to NVIDIA and everybody, there should be something in it for the people in this room that have skills and have like the right values and work ethic. And I have a feeling that the market's going to be really, really disruptive to the choices you have as to where you're going to work and who we're going to hire. So I'm going to walk you through kind of what's worked for us and how I think about things. And I'm not here to tell you what's going to happen. I'm just going to tell you how I'm thinking about it, and maybe that applies to you. Okay, makes sense? So if you look at sort of the partner world, historically, we sell licenses by the user, we bill by the hour, we pay people by the year. And that's not really, nature sort of abhors a vacuum, and things typically revert to the mean. And the way things are looking right now, the value proposition to customers is insane. It's really, really great for what this stuff can do. And who's going to make that money? Is it going to be the chip makers, Microsoft, or us? So I'm going to put out there how I'm approaching it so that I can do right by my staff, because I'm good. I had a good life. I got everything I need in this world. But I got like a lot of people that are a wide range of ages. They want to get into mortgages, they want to get out, and there's all kinds of other stuff going on. And I kind of take that on personally, okay? So let me walk you through kind of what goes on behind the scenes at my place. If you don't believe me, check this guy out, Dana Wilmer. He's an analyst. He analyzes partner organizations, and he wrote a post after coming out of directions in San Diego about how everything's going to get blown up, specifically around Copilot and autonomous ERP. So what we do for customers is going to change, okay? How they work is going to change, how we work is going to change. And it's, he takes all these surveys and runs the numbers on partner organizations, and it's going to be he thinks it's going to be a bloodbath, and I believe him. And I get little signs of that by the people that knock on my door looking for jobs, trying to acquire us. Like the signals coming at me from many different directions is confusing, okay? So I'm doing my best to get my head around it, and coming to this thing, it just makes it worse. Interesting, I don't have time for this slide, but 6 months, this was as a Friday close. NVIDIA up 125% this year, Microsoft up about 26%, Salesforce down 9%. Now, how does that make sense? I don't have time to get into this, but I just wanted to put it out there. Personally, I'm like a numbers person. I'm a CPA. My wife's a CPA, my daughter's a CPA, my father's a CPA, my brother-in-law's a CPA. None of us practice, but we're a numbers family. This is a website I like to go on a lot. This guy's called The Quantified Scientist. He's some guy in Europe that wears every tracker device ever made, and he analyzes them against each other, and then he tells you what to buy. So that's kind of like what gets me happy on YouTube instead of watching The Crown with my wife. Andrew alluded to all the great museums in Vienna, which is true if you're into like Habsburg history and stuff. New York, 26th and Broadway, there's a museum of math, the National Math Museum. It's fantastic. If you have kids, take them there. because it's a data-driven world and maybe they'll get inspired. The door handles have pi and you open it up and It's a whole world of math in there. It's great. So that's a sidebar. What we do so again, I'm Jonathan Taub from Rimrock Corporation. We put out a product called FIELDBOSS, which is a mechanical contractor software solution built on Dynamics 365. And we just redid our website. The language in it is terrible. It's built for the algorithms, but it works. And we basically moneyball very specific customer target market. So we go after heating and cooling and elevators. The reason we did that is because it's kind of immune to the business cycle. Buildings got to be cooled down or heated up. Elevators got to run. And I don't worry too much about the economy because these guys are always busy. And I ran a Dynamics GP practice for many years where we did sell licenses for margin and by the hour and stuff, and the valuation just plummeted over time. And we, 10 years ago, went to verticalize, so we would have our own IP and be able to have a sustainable business for both myself and the staff. And we picked field service because it's so hard. You gotta be crazy to do stuff in this space. But luckily, the platform and Resco gave us a fighting chance. We chose commercial contracting because there's money in it. Okay, these units that the guys put up on the rooftops to chill plants and things, there's big money at stake. The guys in the field make a fortune. So when there's money in margin, there's opportunity for us. Fun facts about elevators, you all know what goes on in an elevator in a hotel like this. This is an elevator at Hudson Yards. It's called the Vessel, and that thing on the side there, it's a handicap elevator. It probably cost $13 million to put in, and the problem with it was that all these lazy tourists were using it. They weren't handicapped, but they got on the elevator anyway, and they kind of wore it out. Our clients lift things. So, there's your normal elevator, but can you imagine what it costs to lift a ship out, what they charge? Or how about, you never think about this, but those ramps at the airport, they're actually horizontal elevators, conveyances. If they're down, lots of drama. And we're talking money, because if that plane doesn't take off, 1,000 things go wrong down the line. So our customers will pay us a lot of money for risk mitigation, okay? And there's another example of something that gets lifted that doesn't really look too healthy, but I thought it was a cool slide to put up. Another thing that one of our clients did is that's on the top of 30 Rockefeller Center. It's a hydraulic lift. You pay $45 to get up there, and then you pay another $45 to get an Instagram picture of yourself, like the guys over there. That thing, I know the observation elevator at Hudson Yards, the Edge, it makes about $3 million a month, whipping people up and down. At Freedom Tower, it's $100 to go up. So the world of elevators is a subculture. I can talk about it for hours. But the point is there's lots of money at stake for our customers. And we figured if that's the case, maybe we can capitalize on that for fun and profit at work. One of our customers here, Murphy Elevator in Louisville, Kentucky, best in the Midwest since 1932. What we did there was we took Resco and we made this sales lead app. So we took the standard thing we do for calculating time and material use and so on and so forth. And we put in a lead generation tool for the guys in the field. Because what happens is when you have a maintenance contract on an elevator, you get paid a certain amount of money per month and you're on the hook for all of it. But if you have exclusions and you do maintenance or repairs that are outside of the contract, you make way more money. So what we did was we built something for the guys to spot stuff. And then what happens in the Dynamics 365 system is that whoever's running sales or running operations is seeing these things come in real time, and we can turn around a quote really fast, so they're kind of have no choice, but they got to accept it. And we actually connected it to payroll. So what happens is it's all about behavioral economics in my mind. So the guys in the field want to know that when they actually care and they do something, it's going to get followed up at head office. So we gave them a way to have visibility as to whether the salespeople are actually acting on it. And then if the money gets collected, they get their commissions. So what that did for the Murphy Elevator Company was it improved the transactional velocity immensely. It hit their bottom line tangibly. And we took out this company called Elevator Zip that was charging $100 a month just for that. And why I'm saying this is because with all this power platform stuff and all this stuff Resco's coming out with, I can't remember the names, I think there's going to be carnage. I think people are going to come up with stuff that are going to be cheap, fast, and free, and it's going to displace other people. And it's very exciting. I was sitting there and I thought of 5 things we could do, but we don't have the bandwidth, and I don't have the energy anymore. But boy, do I got a lot of ideas. So what I'm going to do next is talk about math. I'm going to talk about customer math and the partner math and how that relates to your paychecks, okay? That's the next line I'm going to try and draw. I'm watching the time and doing good. Okay, so math. That Museum of Mathematics, there's no standard definition for math. There's 4 major categories: numbers, geometry, algebra, and all the analytic stuff. There's girl math. That's my daughter. We go on these father-daughter trips all over the place. It's very nice, but she's always getting me to buy her stuff. In this example, it's like these $2,500 Prada boots, which I couldn't believe she wanted. They were on sale. And she basically justified in her way why it was such a good deal and a good investment. And when I texted her, I said, give me a picture of those boots, she started going off about some dress she was looking at. And I was just like, what is going on? The crazy thing is she's actually a senior manager at a giant bank, and she runs a giant budget on their digital platform. So you think you know somebody, right? Not to pick on women. This guy here went out and bought a business for $44 million. That was probably worth 29, and now it's worth 13, but the jury's not quite out on that one yet because Trump gets in and he's on the advisory council. He'll get a lot of concessions, so who knows. Then there's the customer math, so let's go look at that. What I did was I took our spreadsheets and I kind of, I don't want the people from Wensoff here to steal everything I did, so I kind of scrubbed the numbers and made it kind of like applicable for this talk, but the reality of the numbers is like a state secret for me. So I'm going to switch here and go to a spreadsheet, and let's talk about the customer value propositions, which is here. Okay, so the example I'm using is a mechanical contractor, 100 people, 20 in the office, 80 in the field, which is a nice healthy number. And I made up some numbers on licensing, so it landed at $130 a user on average, okay? I don't know what all this Resco stuff's costing. I don't know what Power Platform costs. I have no idea what Microsoft's going to charge for all this AI stuff, but that's going to be a big wild card for us all. And if I have time, I'll talk about it more. But basically, right now, if we just did this the old way, we're charging them for licenses, right? $130 a month per person. And think about it. A guy in the elevator industry in New York City is making like $300,000 a year. So if we sell him an app for $130, and he's making $10,000 a month, and he's generating like $50,000 a week in revenue, this doesn't make any sense. It's too good a deal for the customer, right? And like the way I prove it out is like, say it costs us 500 hours to get the stupid thing in, and what we do is you take their income statements, and they have lines of business: plumbing, electrical, service, maintenance, projects, and some of the numbers are fixed, but the blue ones are inputs. I can just change their ratios and go down the paychecks of all the people that work there. I can look at realization, utilization of the guys in the field, and it all spits out like some kind of number. And then we say, okay, what's Copilot worth to you on the bank rec side? What's Copilot worth to you on collections? What's that sales app we did for Murphy Elevator worth to you on the bottom line? And I NPV it out, and I do an IRR on it. If they know their cost of capital, they never do. And basically, it's insane how much money they can save on a good solution. It's unbelievable. And the proof is in the pudding. We are so busy. It's like I go to these companies, I put these numbers up on the wall. We have enough references, and it's like shooting fish in a barrel. It's causing us other problems because we're really busy. But these numbers speak for themselves, and the customers know it. A lot of people that are coming at us are private equity guys that have funds that are trying to earn a return on their investments in these places, and they see it too. So they want to use what we've got here as a community, as a platform. So that's the customer side of it. So how is this fair? We're charging them $130 a user, and we're delivering millions of dollars of value. So let's look at the next slide I got is sort of on the partner side. So I'm calling it partner math. If they make a movie about it, Jonah Hill will play me and Brad Pitt can play Andrew Lorraine. Okay, so you like that one, huh? All right, so this is actually how we do things at my office. This is a model we made. Again, I scrubbed the numbers so that the real secrets are still with me. But it plugs into our Business Central instance, so it's like live feed I get. Which is awful because I get in the office and I look at this all the time and it owns me. not healthy. But basically what it's got is business variables, pricing, and then I'll show you like how this impacts people like you at my office. So we've got like small, medium, and large types of clients, and I have like assumptions for user counts, number of deals we can close per year, salary assumptions, operating ratios for how we operate, and I'm telling you with all this Copilot and automation we're doing, these numbers are getting really strong. We've got management and marketing, which is interesting, and anytime I change one of these numbers, it changes the profitability, it changes the revenue and stuff, and it changes the valuation because I punch in all the multiples that are market right now. And why I like doing this, and then like I just sort of go in here and I can change the pricing for a subscription for a field person or an office person, or I can look at our utilization as well, and it changes all the numbers. And then what I'm doing on Wednesday, is it Wednesday? Yeah, next Wednesday or Thursday? No, Thursday. I'm actually rolling out an option plan to the staff. Okay, so we kind of been at it for 10 years. We sort of crossed the chasm a couple of years ago, and things are, they're interesting, they're fun, we're doing great. And my biggest fear as a business owner is losing anybody. In fact, we got to attract people that are really good because our clients that are stable on our platform want all more stuff, and it's just like a flywheel. So all this innovation they're talking about, it's really hard to absorb. It's going really fast. Everyone's ability to execute is, you're only as good as the weakest link in your chain. So for me, it's about like attracting and retaining like people I want to see all the time and maybe bring to a conference. I need a lot of space, so I got to be really careful who I travel with. Anyway, so what I got here, and I'm encouraging you guys to sort of think this way. Like I just did this little thing here where I'm going to have a cap table. We have 45 people, and I'm going to give, let's say there's people in high, medium, and low allotments for the option plan we're doing. Everyone's in. Receptionist on up. I don't want anybody coming to work that doesn't have the same connection to the customers and the solution, the technology that I do, because I need the help. At my age, I'm trying to save time and maintain my sanity, and I got to spread the load. So I'm happy to give away like 25, 30% of the business because they deserve it, And the fun thing here is like if that Murphy thing was worth, based on what it's worth to them, this is how I want them to think next week. I'm not sure I'm going to do this or not, but say we get an extra $25 a month for that sales app. That could be worth like $250,000 to certain people in a couple of years. So, what's my time doing? I got 3 minutes left. I actually have emergency slides in case I finish too early, but I think I'm going to land it. So what I want to say to you guys is, it's just, we're at a real inflection point. We don't know how this is going to unfold. I'm quite suspicious of what Microsoft's going to do on licensing and pricing. I have no idea. I heard a rumor they're going to be buying nuclear reactors to power their data centers to get the energy costs down. Anything's possible. I got 3 more slides here, so let's go back to the PowerPoint for a sec. So what's going on is we're so busy, we're trying to figure out how to price our stuff because the value's there. Right now, we sent out like 4 different quotes to 4 different prospects with different pricing schemes, and we're going to see what comes back. One of our people in our market, Procore, they do like project management software for construction, and they own the market. They're really, really good. We have to integrate to them because our project system is good for billing, but this is a whole new universe. When you go to the Procore site and you go get me a price, they ask you what field you're in, they ask you what your revenue is, and then they want to have a talk because they charge based on revenue. And you know what? They get it. The people that work there make a fortune. We'll never be able to steal anybody from them because the value proposition to the staff is fantastic. And the thing is run by private equity guys who just do all the financial engineering. And one would argue it's a beautiful thing. So hopefully this time that you spent like listening to me was worth it. I think one of the stupid jokes I make all the time when I do a sales call, it's like, you got to decide like who should pay who for the time. So should I pay you guys for listening to me, or should you guys pay me for the value you got? You don't have to answer that. You could answer it anonymously. I'm Jonathan Taub on LinkedIn there, and that's it. I hope this sort of helped you in some way.